Hello, everybody. So today I just wanted to provide a quick update on the valuation of solar stocks. You may have noticed that they crashed quite a bit today and phased down, I think almost 3%. SolarEdge in the 5% down range today. And I think this is entirely silly. This is just stupid. These valuations make no sense. And we are blessed with these valuations. I believe these are a blessing. I am buying hand over fist. I went heavy on my Palantir sales today, and I have loaded on Enphase, a little bit of SolarEdge, but mostly Enphase. At these prices, these are great prices. You know, we may get to $90 or $80. I don't know. I mean, I really don't know, but I know I love the price. You know, at 116, 117 ish. It's dirt cheap for a company that is this quality. So I have a rerun valuations on these stocks right now for the three solar stocks that I own. So Enphase, SolarEdge, and Tigo. If you know this spreadsheet well, I'm not going to explain it. Feel free to watch my Monday videos, typically where I go through my style of investing and my spreadsheet. You may know that for an A-type stock, for a blue chip stock like Enphase, a 0.41 is actually pretty darn cheap. And as far as SolarEdge goes and Tigo, it's just all out cheap for any type of stock. And you know, some people may consider a stock like SolarEdge even a blue chip. I mean, if my comment section is to be believed, I do believe SolarEdge is a lower quality stock. It's just my opinion because of their technology. And Tigo is a speculative play today, so I will not be talking much about Tigo. I will be talking briefly some updates about Enphase and SolarEdge. And you know, I mean, when I say SolarEdge is maybe a less quality stock, it's my own bias. You know, I bring my own bias into this. I've been following Enphase for the longest time, so I bring my own bias into this. But I'm studying the SolarEdge products now. So I'm studying their offering, and I must say that it is strengthening my view on Enphase. So I'm going to talk quite a bit about Enphase, but remember that I am positive about SolarEdge because of their commercial division. If commercial for SolarEdge keeps growing at the speed it is growing, SolarEdge will be a mostly commercial company. You know, residential won't matter that much for SolarEdge if they keep having this success in commercial. If you remember the last video I showed on SolarEdge, I have an easy time imagining a company having more than 70% of its sales in the commercial segment. And then if the difference keeps growing, maybe it will be 80% commercial one day. So I just want to point that out. I'm not entirely criticizing SolarEdge here. This is entertainment, of course. This is no advice. This is just my views, and I hope you find them entertaining. So first of all, Enphase. This past week, well, I guess it's a new week now, but over the past few days, I had the opportunity to listen again to the full earnings call of Enphase. And I mean, I cannot understand why it crashed, because the call was not that bad. They simply did a pullback in their inventory, right? They guided down because they're not going to ship many products to their distributors today because they overshipped in Q2. So they have kind of a double slowdown built into their guidance. But that is very clear that this is temporary because they're still selling these inverters like a weed. They're still selling a bunch of them. And as soon as the stock at the distributors is depleted, the orders will come back in and there will be way more buys. These are companies that are setting themselves up for wonderful Q1s 2024. Wonderful Q1 2024. And don't forget, energy prices tend to go up in the winter. Right? It's obvious. It's when people need energy. And so that drives a lot of solar cells. There's a lot of good things going on for Enphase. This valuation is ridiculous if you actually go back and listen to the conference call and see all of the things that are doing well. Battery is really a straightforward, no bull, if I may call it like this, type of CEO who says it like it is. And to me, this slowdown is very temporary, and it's a very US-centric slowdown. It is very, very clear that Europe is growing like a weed like ever before, tripling. They had a tripling. And Enphase has many blue oceans in Europe, like Italy, like Spain, big markets where they are not in yet. Poland. They also have Latin America as a big market for growth, especially Brazil. It's not Europe anymore, but these are big markets. And of course, we are bigger market, which is Australia. Australia is about 30% solar. Even if you were to consider Australia as the most advanced market, kind of the Norway, what Norway is to electric cars, Australia is to solar panels. Solar panels in Australia is only 30% penetration. So they have much, much more penetration to go. The number of solar roofs out there on homes is not going to remain at 5%, 4% actually, in the United States and 10-ish% in the US. It's not going to remain at 4% in the US and 10% in Europe. Sorry, I meant Europe. It's not going to remain at 10%. It's going to go the way of Australia. Australia's at 30%. But then, of course, Australia is going to move to 70, 80%. And then Europe and the US will catch up again. This is my view how it's going to play out. And I want to emphasize, again, the opportunity that is not priced in by the market. Because Enphase only got a few $1 million worth of subsidies this past Q2. But wait until you see hundreds of millions of dollars a year in subsidies come in from the IRA bill. I mean, that IRA bill, I've said from day one, I've covered this on the channel, it is the most mismanaged, mishandled piece of legislation that I've ever seen. These companies are gonna make so much money. It's not even funny. It was mishandled, or at least, I don't like to be in the earning subsidies business, but look at this. Enphase is getting into that subsidies business. Keep in mind, the subsidies are 80% higher for Enphase's products than SolarEdge's products in the US, which is why when you listen to the SolarEdge call, they're in no hurry to manufacture in the US. And the one manufacturing facility they have in the US, they say, okay, well, we're looking at it, but the US is not going to be an export hub. Enphase is all about the US being an export hub. In fact, they are developing these new kind of microinverters, right? The 480-watt AC microinverters that we are now targeting to commercial right now. But they're developing them in the US, and they'll be shipping them to Brazil. But they will be earning the $30. They earn roughly $30 per microinverter. Now you may say, wait a minute, that's way lower than what I had said in prior videos. Well, they are actually sharing some of these subsidies with their contract manufacturers. I think Enphase, because they have contract manufacturers, they're sharing some of the subsidies. So this is kind of a problem. They don't own the manufacturing in-house, but it allows them to be agile and flexible. But they don't own the manufacturing in-house. We have to keep in mind that. So they have to share a little bit, and that's fine. That's okay. You want your suppliers to also be happy. But even then, this policy, the 11 cents per AC watt of microinverters, these policies are so I mean, they're going to be crazy expensive. $30 per microinverter is what they're getting right now, roughly $30 per microinverter, and this is going to be taken off in the cost of goods sold. So this is going to be reflected in the cost of goods sold. So this is what I ask: will margins go to 60% or more than 60% when you include the $30 worth per microinverter, knowing that this is going to increase, because I am making the bet that Enphase, the IQ9 and the IQ10, which we know they are working for, they're going to be higher than 480 watt AC. Remember, they're getting 11 cents per watt. So Enphase has an incentive to make the biggest micro inverter they can, if that makes any sense. And this is also why, in the way they design their products, this is a very smart company, they design their products where it's the bidirectional charging of a battery. Both the battery and the bidirectional charger get 6 microinverters each. And these are also subject to the 11 cents per watt. So not only is it redundant, not only is it more efficient, not only can you both charge the battery, discharge the battery, both use your solar, charge your car, you can do all of these nimble uses of the system, right? There's thousands of different ways to use the system now, because they have all of these different interactions that don't go through a central inverter. So the system can just talk to each other, where you can do so many different things. You can turn on the water heater, shut off the AC, turn on the AC, have the AC from the roof, the conversion from the roof, have it charge your car, but also have it power your home, also send it back to the grid. These are very nimble, complex systems, and you're able to do that because of these microinverters that allow the current to not flow through a single point of inversion. The current it has multiple points and multiple ways, and it's a redundant system. I believe it's a better system. And it's a better system in the sense that it's very similar to our homes. And how many charging blocks do we put on our holes? How many chargers do we have? Do we charge everything? Well, every time we charge any of our electronic devices, they are DC electronic devices. And whenever we charge those, we use those bricks in the wall, and we do an AC-DC conversion. And we have not minded it so far. We don't have a problem doing that. So anyways, I think that's very important to look at it this way. Let's talk about SolarEdge. These are my latest thoughts about SolarEdge, and you'll see these are thoughts about Enphase. And it is both a complement to SolarEdge and a complement to Enphase here. I want to be very clear. SolarEdge, in my view, is a marketing machine. SolarEdge is a marketing machine. I'm now a SolarEdge shareholder, so I study their tech. It's a marketing machine. It's great marketing, but the more I study it, the more I'm bullish on Enphase. For example, SolarEdge is cheaper, but you actually find out that it's cheaper because most people don't want to pay, $3,000 to have the additional warranty. So it's cheaper mostly because they have a way lower warranty. Again, this is something that you find out when you dig deeper. But it makes for better marketing, because then you can show, starting at only, and you show a lower price than Enphase, but you're forgetting the fact that you don't have the warranty. So that's one. Here's another one. The clipping argument. I still hear this quite a bit in the comment section. The clipping argument is largely rooted in the way that solars are marketed. And I'll show you. So if you look at Enphase microinverters, they are designed for normal operating conditions. Normal operating condition wattage of a solar panels is in the technical specifications brochure, right? A solar panel, the normal operating condition, is going to produce less wattage than during lab conditions. And Enphase microinverters are optimized for normal operating conditions, which are typically 20% lower than lab operating condition. Now, when solar panels are marketed, and when a salesperson goes to a homeowner and shows the product, this is how they sell. They show the name of the products. And this is an example. This is LG solar panels. They are marketed with the lab efficiency. So you see 385 watts. Even the number, the product number, the product reference, the name of the product is marketed for the lab. It's what you get in a lab. But once this is on your roof, you're going to get closer to 300 watts and not 385 watts, because your roof is not the perfect condition, but it's marketed for the lab. So in another way of saying this is that if you're buying a SolarEdge system, you may be buying too much inversion. You may be oversized. Not necessarily a bad thing, and I mean, Enphase is going to get that way with the IRA. You can bet they're going to do that. They're going to try to make bigger inverters too, thanks to the IRA, because they're getting the IRA money. So from a business standpoint, it's not necessarily a bad thing, and you may get that extreme day. Once in a while, you may get an extreme day where this applies, but most of the time it does apply. That's why clipping on the surface of it seems like a big issue, but when you dig deeper, you realize that it's roughly the same, or at least that's what I realize, and that's why I think AC coupled systems are going to win, because a marketing advantage is helpful right now because of interest rates. But over the long run, the technical advantage is very, very largely, and by technical I mean efficiency. The efficiency advantage of, say, a SolarEdge system is very largely exaggerated by the marketing. And I'll finish with this. Not conversion. So what you'll find is that a lot of SolarEdge salespeople, for example, they say, oh, well, there's a triple conversion, or even better in the marketing I saw, maybe they'll call it the triple penalty. You're going to get a triple penalty because you have to DC, and that's when you use a battery. When you use a battery, they say you're going to have to do a triple penalty because you do DC to AC, AC to DC, and DC to AC. So you do 3 conversion. Now remember, Enphase likes that because it sells more microinverters and it gets more subsidies and it has much better margins. So Enphase really likes that. But they tell you it's a 10% loss. That's what the sales folks will say most of the time. This is actually not true because you're not comparing the best Enphase product with the best SolarEdge product. When you hear that, that's comparing the best SolarEdge product with an old version of Enphase's product. When I redo this calculation, I get to 7%, and I did that in a prior video. I get to 7% loss and not 10%. That's a big difference. That's not as punchy in a sales pitch, right? Even if it was 9%, it wouldn't be as punchy. 10% loss is punchy, so that's why they say that in a sales pitch. But it's actually 10% when you're being honest. And of course, let's not forget that string inverters also lose 1%. So you actually have a delta of 6%. But it's really not that big in the grand scheme of things because we already do this with our AC/DC chargers everywhere, with our charging bricks. We already do this. I don't hear many people complaining about charging their laptops with a charger and running their laptops 24/7 all day long with an AC/DC charger, right? And a laptop is 200, 300 watts, and most laptops are open 24/7. And we do that conversion without much thought and without much sadness about the efficiency that we lose. If you lose efficiency, it is for the sake of convenience. You're gaining convenience. You're only gaining something in exchange for that efficiency loss. So you're gaining convenience. So that's one point. And this is also something very important. If you're going to use the triple penalty argument and say, oh, it's not as good with batteries, well, you still have to realize that the general assumption, if this is the loss that you're going to have, you kind of have to assume that all electricity has to be stored and then used at night when the sun is not shining. That's what you're assuming. But this is not the case. Most of the electricity that you produce during the day is going to be used by your house also during the day. You have specific edge cases, at the end of the day or in the morning where you're going to use power. But we use much less power at night than we do during the day. So if you actually take that efficiency loss, you would realize that efficiency loss definitely does not apply to the entire electricity production. In my view, it applies maybe to 20% of your electricity production. So for the rest of it, you're not going to have that efficiency loss. It goes straight from your solar panel, DC to AC, and then from AC you use the electricity straight. And so if you run your washing machine, your dryer in a sunny afternoon, you're not going to have a triple conversion, right? It's going to be straight from the inverters to your system, and that's also something that's easy to leave out, easy to not point out. I think AC coupled systems are the way to go. The grid is the way it is set up. It's been set up that way, and I think it's going to stay that way for a long while. For a long, long while. And I'm bullish, very bullish on Enphase, as much as ever. So, and I have nothing more to add on Tigo. Tigo is optimizers. The optimizer business, Tigo as a product that is targeted mostly at commercial installs and also at some residential installs for cost-conscious buyers. Tigo is actually undercutting SolarEdge when it comes to the price of the optimizers, because the Tigo optimizers can be as cheap as $30. Right, and SolarEdge, you're closer to 100 in an optimizer. So Tigo is a low-cost leader when it comes to optimizers. It sells optimizers to mostly commercial installations who need to have optimizers for compliance, because most cities and common sense also dictate that if there is a fire on your home or on your building, you need to be able to shut off the power. Because if you don't shut off the power and say you have firefighters coming in with water, we know that would be a terrible mix. So you need to have a shut off, because that's the way electricity works. So Tigo kind of has a big compliance market, and as everyone, they're trying to get it into residential as well, because of course residential is where most of the money is. If you look at, say, cars, how many cars do we sell to companies versus to households? We sell many more cars to households than to companies, and I think solar system is going to be the same way. The market is much bigger selling to households. That's why all of these companies are pushing towards households. Even Tigo is launching a whole home solution. But I think when it comes to households and equipping households, it's going to be Enphase. At least that's my view. These are just my views, and this is just entertainment. Whatever I said is just entertainment, not investment advice. Entertainment. Even no technical advice. Entertainment. So anyways, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate your likes. I appreciate your subscribes. Thanks for watching, and have a wonderful day.